Hey guys, Dimension Jump, and today I'll be doing my top 5 least favourite Pokemon from Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Now, in last week's video I talked about some of my favourite Pokemon that have come out from this generation, and I would say that this game has some interesting looking Pokemon, and just like every other generation before Scarlet and Violet, there are some not so cool or great looking Pokemon in terms of its design, or there's some missing potential there, or just like they look boring or something like that. And yeah, that's what I'm going to be talking about today in this video, just some of my least favorite Pokemon that I've seen in the game. And yeah, so for number 5 is Squawkabilly, I believe that's how you pronounce it. And this Pokemon is a normal flying type, and out of all the flying type looking Pokemon, it looks pretty boring. It's on the same level as Chatot in terms of the design looks boring, but at least with Chatot, in its design, it's got like this musical note on its head, and with some other several other Pokemon, I think mainly like with Pokemon in I forgot its name, but it's a Pokemon from Sun and Moon, in which they're like different design kind of things, but it's kind of done with Squawkabilly in terms of the different various colours. But unlike the Pokemon from Sun and Moon, where they have different designs as well as a different typing, Squawkabilly just has a different colour in terms of which one you get. And yeah, I think there's missed potential there, mainly because from what I remember, there's like a blue one, a green one, a yellow one, and maybe a red one. I could be misremembering the red one, but I feel like what could have made Squawkabilly unique in a sense and made it more interesting if, depending on which colour of Squawkabilly you caught, would be a different typing. It would still have the same entry, but it would be a different be a different typing. Kind of like if Dealing's evolved form kind of did the same, because with Dealing and its evolved form, they're both normal grass type, but with the evolved form, it changes seasons. That's quite unique, and I feel like they could have added on, could have removed the normal typing and added the typing for the particular season they're in, maybe, or could have gone only using the grass type, the ice type for the ice season, maybe. But for Squawkabilly, there was a lot of lost potential there, and I kind of wish that there was more to be added. For number 4 is Smoliv, and again, like with Squawkabilly, I'm believing that's how you pronounce it. And with Smoliv, it kind of reminds me of one of the one of the first Pokemon you can catch in Generation 5. I think Lilith. I think that's how you say it. And yeah, with Smoliv, it kind of reminds me of Lilith, except it looks more like an olive than a grass patch thing or leaf or whatever. And yeah, I kind of wish, again, this looks slightly boring. Maybe if it had been given the poison type as well as the grass type, that could have been interesting, because then we would have had like probably maybe a move based, like a poison type move based on Smoliv, that if it had been given the poison type, like an olive smash or something. I don't know, but yeah, its final evolved form looks interesting, but again, I think it would have been a whole lot better if it had been given the poison typing, and along with its grass typing, because I think it's a normal grass type Pokemon, and it's a fine thing, but I think it looks boring with just those typings. Maybe if it lost the normal typing, but being given the poison type, then yeah. But apart from that, it looks pretty boring. It looks pretty plain, pretty much forgettable, I would say. So yeah. So for number 3, it's Flamigo. I think that's how you say it. I'm just guessing. Of other pronunciations of the Pokemon. And with Flamigo, it's basically a flamingo, really. It's just a flying fighting type, and the flying type, or I think it's a flying type, is either a flying type, is either a flying fighting type or a fighting type. I'm not 100% sure which one it is, but I don't really see it as a fighting type. Because I remember seeing it as a fighting type, and I just don't see it. Because with all other Pokemon in every single game, we see, how their typings fit the Pokemon. For example, Garchomp is a land shark, so it's a ground and dragon type. With Bulbasaur and Ivysaur, and the Bulbasaur line, it's a plant, so it's a grass poison type. With Flamigo, I don't really see the fighting type. I would see it could it could have been better if it was like a normal typing, maybe. That would have made it pretty much better, I would say, if it was just a normal type, or maybe a flying normal type, maybe. I'm not 100% sure, but with Flamigo, it looks, again, like with Smoliv, it looks basic and it looks pretty generic, really. And yeah, it's not one of my favourites. It's maybe with a better design, maybe Flamigo could have been better, but no, it's just a flamingo, really. So yeah. For number 2 is Flittle. I think that's how I pronounce it. And with Flittle, it's basically just this sort of small, multicoloured ball in this sort of weird thing. I'm not 100% sure what it is. And with Flittle, I think it's just too much in your face, really, maybe. And I have no idea what this Pokemon is about. It's just this small looking ball, yellow and pink thing, and I have no idea what this Pokemon is supposed to be. It's just, and I don't even remember what it evolves into. I think I kind of do remember, but I don't remember the name, and I think that one makes Flittle one of my least favourites, just because there was so much potential there, but I feel like maybe some polish here and there, maybe if it had been given some more time, maybe I feel like Flittle could have been a lot more interesting, because I feel like Flittle, design wise, feels rushed. I feel like Game Freak were just had let's say a month or so, and they had a few Pokemon left to design, and they were like, maybe, okay, let's create Flittle. Oh, what does Flittle look like? This little ball thing, and yeah, it looks pretty bad in my opinion. So yeah. And for number 1 is Brambling. I think that's how you say it. And design-wise, it's basically this. I think it's supposed to be tumbleweed. I presume it's. I think it's supposed to be tumbleweed. It looks tumbleweed-ish, as well as its evolved form. And yeah, it's okay, I guess. But again, like with Flittle, it feels a bit rushed because it's a grass ghost type, and I think the typing is quite interesting, because it kind of fits the typing or the design of it, like this shadowy or possessed bit of grass or whatever. And yeah, I kind of see the ghost grass type, and yeah, again, like with Flittle, I feel like Game Freak were rushed in terms of design. Like, they had a few Pokemon left to create before they had to release the game, and I think they just thought of whatever they could think of first in their heads, and like, here's a tumbleweed thing, and it's a grass ghost type. And I feel like it's not as bad, but I feel like maybe a bit more design-wise, it could have been cooler, like how Decidueye is a grass ghost type. It's like a ghost Robin Hood in a sense, or the other ghost grass type in Sun and Moon, which is basically a good tanker. That's cool. So is Decidueye. But with Brambling, maybe a bit more design, maybe a bit more design on both the grass and ghost type. Maybe give 50-50 on both in terms of design, and kind of put them together in a sort of sense to make it a lot cooler, maybe. That's just my opinion. And yeah, I would say it's okay. It's not the worst, but I feel like there's some sort of lost potential there. So that's been my top 5 least favourite Pokemon from Scarlet and Violet. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video.